Oh God. What have I done? Oh, that doesn't sound right. Good morning, Minecraft. Name's Splenard, aka the Spleen Doctor. If you're new to my channel, I play survival Minecraft where I build ultra massive and completely unnecessary automatic farms and other buildings. Well, now I guess I shouldn't say automatic. Not all of my farms are. More like semi automatic. I mean, it's true you could technically fully automate almost anything if you really wanted to, using complex redstone and villager mechanics. Take, for example, my sugarcane farm. This farm is completely automated. I don't have to do anything. But I also prefer simpler designs in my builds. Plus, I like building really, really big farms. But farms anyone could build, not just people with a PhD in internal game mechanics. Plus, those fully automatic farms that use villager mechanics tend to be really slow and quite a bit smaller than what I would normally build. I know my old school farms aren't as cool as the new stuff, but as a communist dictator probably said, quantity has a quality all its own. And that's what brings me to today's episode. In last week's video, I had just finished landscaping this area in front of the fortress. After that video was done, I came over here and continued some landscaping off camera, cleaning up this area in front of the farm and going to this bridge to the chicken farm here, when I noticed I ran out of food. That's not a big deal because I have a whole silo of food. Well, I thought I did, but that's okay. I'll just cook some more. And that's when I noticed I'm actually running kind of low. Okay, this will tide me over for a little bit, but I need to do something about this food situation. Eh, I really haven't done anything with these guys since the beginning of the game. I basically corralled them right up here against the side of the farm and have just left them here forever. Uh, and I do have other food I could eat, like endless cooked chicken from the chicken farm and all the fish that the Guardians drop from the XP farm, but let's face it, beef provides the best saturation. So saturation is the length of time before you get hungry again, and the best item in the game, outside of golden carrots, is cooked beef and cooked pork. And I don't have any pigs. So I guess it's time I build a cow farm. A really, really big cow farm. Okay, here's the plan. My mob cap near my main base has gotten completely out of hand. Between the chicken farm and the, I don't know, however many, couple hundred chickens are piled up in that thing, and all the hoppers because of the sorter over here, I need to build this cow farm outside of this chunk. It's just my mob cap's getting out of control and things are getting too slow, too laggy in this area. So what I'm going to do is get a single skulker and some cobblestone just for a minute, and we're going to head over to where I'm thinking about building this, and we can go over the dimensions and talk about the material we're going to need, because at this point I don't have anywhere near enough material to build the farm I'm thinking of. This thing is going to be absolutely massive, and it's going to be using a lot more resource intensive stuff than probably anything else I've ever built. So here's the area I'm thinking. Now, this is the village I stole my villagers from to both start the iron farm and my little villager bit there on the island. And this trench I dug because I was using a boat, and you can row boats across the ground, and that's how I was getting. But they just can't go up and down, obviously. So I just made a trench straight out. But this is about where I'm thinking of building the cow farm. So let me lay out the basic dimensions, and we'll go over all the stuff we need and what we're going to have to do to acquire those resources. All right, I think I have it laid out the way I want. I already know what size the farm, the actual machine that pets you, that it has to be 31 by 49. And I've laid that out, as you can see. Now, there's going to be a walkway around the machine, followed by a fence, a trench, and then several tiers of farm field. Even though I have that giant farm over there, this one's going to be dedicated to making the hay specifically, or the wheat specifically to populate these cows. So, and I have enough need for other products in the big farm, so this one's going to have its own fields that surround it. But the actual machine is 31 by 49. And so I'm pretty happy with this layout. There's going to be an entrance kind of right here in the middle, and then that'll be flanked on either side by silos that are going to house the wheat and a few other things. So this whole field is going to be part of this setup. So I'm pretty happy with that. So let's go over the numbers. Oh boy. I've run the numbers, and here's what we're going to need to build this machine. Now, these numbers do not include any of the material for the surrounding farm, the conveyors, the silos, the sorter, any of that. These numbers are just this building here, and I want you to keep that in mind. I'm going to need 1,270 hoppers, 1,080 sticky blocks, which is 540 honey blocks, and 540 slime blocks. And I'm going to need 90 sticky pistons. That means I'm going to need 6,350 iron bars to make the hoppers and 1,270 chests, plus an additional 90 iron for the sticky pistons for a total of 6,440 iron. Luckily, I have an infinite supply of iron. Heck, that's only 100 stacks. That's like, what, 2 chests or something. I've got that in spades, conveniently. I will also, though, need 2,160 bottles of honey, because you need 4 bottles of honey to make 1 honey block. 2,160 bottles of honey, that's doable. But you need 9 slime balls to make 1 slime block, which means I'll need, well, 4,860, plus an additional 90 for the sticky pistons. So we're looking at 4,950 slime balls. On top of that, I'm going to need 10 repeaters, 191 redstone, 276 obsidian, 414 pieces of glass, a lever, and 7 lanterns, either sea lanterns or glow stones. Oh my god. Oh boy. And that's for the mechanism. To build the actual frame of the building, I'm going to need another 1,080 polished andesite, 214 dark oak logs, 1,670 spruce slabs, 280 oak trapdoors, 1,565 more pieces of cobble, and 444 stone blocks. Stone bricks, excuse me. Oh, God. I don't know why I wanted to make it this big, but we have a bunch of work to do. Okay, I've gathered up all the material that I already had laying around. I have all the cobblestone and redstone there, all the andesite there, miscellaneous things, stone bricks, some obsidian, the logs, oak trapdoors. I hardly had enough oak trapdoors just laying around, some miscellaneous items, and all the spruce slabs, which I actually had enough spruce laying around to make the few slabs I didn't need, or I didn't have. The glass I was out, so I'm smelting 8 stacks of sand, just so I have enough glass for this project and a little extra for the silo. And the other thing I want to do is convert all the andesite into polished andesite. And the way you do that, very simply, is stick 4 andesite into a pattern, and you get polished andesite. So I'll do that really quickly. Now the other issue is the slime blocks and the honey blocks. see, we go like that, and that, and divide this up, just like that. And there we go. Put that back in here. There's all the polished andesite. Okay, now as far as honey, I actually don't have I need about, 8 stacks for 540 blocks. I need about 7.5, 8 stacks, and I have almost half what I need already. That's not going to be too difficult to come by. You only need 4 bottles to make a honey block, so that's easy to do. But slime is a whole nother story. You need 9 slime balls to make 1 slime block, and I have 37 of the 540 that we're going to need. Plus, I need another 90 for the sticky pistons. I have a few sticky pistons, but not 90. I have a silo of slime balls, but there's just one problem. I'm out. I don't have any. The honey situation, let me show you what we're going to do about that. The honey situation is a matter of simply making a whole bunch of beehives, breeding a whole bunch of bees, throwing down a bunch of flowers, and then just going through and collecting the honey. It's not complicated at all. You take yourself a pair of shears, and you go find yourself an actual beehive in the wild. I already had a whole bunch. They were in front of the fortress. I moved them to over here. Then, once you have a beehive, or 2 or 3, you take a pair of shears, and you shear them. Now, the honeycomb went to the outside, so I'll go and grab that in a second, but I already have what I need, which is 3 honeycomb. Once you have your honeycombs, grab your planks of wood, and 3 wood top and bottom, and 3 honeycombs, makes an artificial beehive. Do that over and over again until you have a whole bunch of beehives. About 100 of them. Then, simply plant a whole bunch of flowers or crops surrounding your beehives. Once you've done that, get yourself a stack of flowers, which I have an unlimited supply of poppies from the iron farm, since when the golems die, they also, aside from iron bars, they drop poppies, which I collect in my silo. And then, the easiest way to breed until you have hundreds of bees is simply wait until morning, or make it morning, and all the bees will come at once, and then breed them. Just double click on 2 bees with flowers, and they'll find each other and make more bees. I should almost blur this out. This is practically porn. You get the idea. Your bees will then begin hovering around the flowers, pollinating them. Or if you have crops, making crops. You can use bees to make an automated crop farm too, by the way. It's a new mechanic in the game since they introduced bees. But once the bees have the pollen, they'll go into the beehives, at which point you'll see the beehive change from nothing, and a few moments later, the hives will begin dripping honey. This is your signal that the hives are now full and can be harvested. Once all the hives are full of honey, build yourself a room so you can harvest the honey in peace. You can design a mechanism to cause smoke. You can put a campfire under the hive so that the bees will not become angry when you harvest honey. However, the bees actually will stop being angry in about 10 seconds, and honestly, that's all the time you need. The one thing you don't want to do is do this while you're outside. This many bees, when one turns angry, the rest of the bees turn angry, and this many angry bees stinging you at once would kill you instantly. In fact, this many bees would kill the ender dragon instantly, since there's about 300 of them. So build yourself a little cage and collect the honey in peace, and then just wait about 10 seconds and all the bees will calm down. Then, just take 4 honey and make yourself the honey block. So this is the quick and dirty way. I could build, and you can automate this process using dispensers and hoppers and other mechanisms, but for the little bit of honey we need for this build, this is the quick and dirty way to do it. I'll probably build an automated honey farm at a later point in the game, but right now I'm just going to do it manually to get what we need. But the slime, that's a whole different issue. So, in regards to what I did, I built a slime farm. This slime farm's amazing. It makes over 4,400 slime balls per hour. It's an AFK farm. You just sit there, and the farm makes all the slime you could ever want. It was just too slow hunting for slimes. I knew I would end up having to build that slime farm. And about 5 seconds into building it, I decided to make it its own video. So that video is already dropped on the channel. If you don't know how to make a slime farm, or if you need, you want to know how to build this slime farm, just watch that video. It does about a little over 40, actually almost 4,500 per hour. So it's an extremely fast AFK slime farm. And as a result, I now have all the slimes I need. And between that and harvesting the honey, we now have all the resources we need to start the cow farm. So here we have all the necessary slime and honey blocks. So we now have everything we're going to need to take all this over to the location where we're going to start building the farm. Alright, I've laid out everything. I have all the stuff we're going to need. There's nothing left to do but cue the music, baby. It's time for a time lapse. Alright, it looks like I've got a pretty good kind of layout for what I want to do. At this point I need to heal my shovel because it is completely out. It's going to break any moment now. I should probably stop screwing around with it. And then I'm going to start working on the actual machine, and then we'll work on, after the machine's completed, we'll work on the farmland around it. So let me go heal my shovel, and then I'll get the materials I need, and we'll start preparations on the building. Okay, to start, I'm going to mark out an area 12 by 16. So starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to there, and then I'm gonna go, I think 61, no 15, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I think right there. All right. I think I'm just going to start with this. This is 1/6 of the machine. So I'm going to basically show you how I'm going to build this in this area, and then I'm simply going to replicate it 5 more times, and that'll be the entire machine. So 12 by 15 measured from the inside of where I place those markers. Okay, at this point, mark the center, and let's pillar up a total of 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to take this back all the way. So like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, alright. And we'll clear this out. We don't need this. This was just to get up there. Oops. All right. Once you have that established, let's get... okay. We're going to need... oh, yeah, I forgot the pistons. Crap. All right. I'm going to get the pistons. Give me 1 second. I know earlier I said we would need 90 pistons, but that is incorrect. We actually need 180 pistons. So adjust your material supplies as necessary. Okay, now that I have the pistons, go ahead and cover the bottom of this in pistons, having them facing down. So that'll be a total of 30 pistons for this section. Times 6 sections is why you need 180 pistons, not 90 like I said earlier, so bear that in mind. Once you've done that, grab either your honey or slime, and place 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then next to that, slime. If you don't alternate honey and slime, then the pistons won't actually move because the honey and the slime will not stick to each other. But if you use like all honey or all slime, then the piston will read not just the row of 6 honey, it'll read the row of 6 honey next to it on both sides, and it will be more than 12, so the piston won't move. So you have to alternate, just like this. Then, once you get done with this side, you'll do the other side, but again, alternate so that no row of honey touches another row of honey and no row of slime touches another row of slime. And do that for this whole thing. Once you've completed the entire array, come over here and grab the polished andesite and cover the entire bottom with polished andesite. It doesn't have to be polished andesite, it can be any block you want. You can make a pattern if you want instead of just a plain, it doesn't really matter. These just have to be a solid block of some sort. I've chosen polished andesite. So do that, and I'll see you right back. Alright, once you've completed that, come over here and grab a little bit of redstone, and let's get our lever. Whoops. Well, here. A little bouncy. Alright. Like that. And then take your redstone. And this is why we made it 15 long, because redstone signals can travel 15 before they need to be reboosted with a repeater. So you go like that. And if we built this correctly, there you go. I'm an idiot. Those are supposed to be sticky pistons. I knew I missed a step. Alright, 1 second. Curses. All right. Let's try this again. Good. That's what it's supposed to do. Now at this point, leave an empty space of 1 block, and then build another one of these, 12 by 15, leave a space, and build a third one, 12 by 15. So go ahead and repeat this 2 more times. Alright, once you have placed all your blocks, we're going to grab 4 redstone repeaters and a couple more. I'm out of arrows. Let's see. Need. Oh, there they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. And some more redstone. That should be enough. Come down here to where the break is and place 2 repeaters on this gap between them, and then simply fill all this back in with redstone dust and do that up to this gap like that. And fill that in all the way down. Alright, if we did everything correctly and we have all of our honey and slime blocks correctly spaced, alright, perfect. Now, we're going to skip 3, and there's going to be a little, so there's going to be 3 wide block here, and those, and I realize that means that the entire ceiling will not come down and completely cover. There'll be some areas where the cows will not get crushed. If you haven't figured out what this machine does to cows by now, I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, we're going to murder the crap out of them. However, there's going to be some gaps, and the reason is I don't want to accidentally kill, if I operate the machine before breeding the cows, because the baby cows will be spared. However, if I operate the machine and forget that I didn't breed the cows first and kill all of the adult cows, I will completely wipe out all the animals in this machine and have to find more cows and bring them into the machine and breed them back up. So to prevent me from doing that, there is going to be a little bit of space, so not every adult cow will die when the machine operates. And that is just basically a dummy safety so that I don't accidentally kill every cow in the machine not paying attention. It isn't necessary. You could remove this and have the 2 sides butted up against each other as long as this was honey and this was slime, so they don't interfere with each other. But I'm going to choose to leave some space so that I don't accidentally kill every cow. So now what I'm going to do is repeat this whole side on this side right here. So let me swap out back to some, I'm going to go actually get some scaffolding too, because I'm going to need it to build the building that goes around this. So I'm going to grab some scaffolding real quick, and then I'm going to swap out for cobblestone and pistons and start this side. So I'm going to do that now. Alright, that's done, so now I'm going to start working on the frame of the building, and as always, remember that you need to keep obsidian any place where any of the sticky blocks could be. So along here, all the way around, needs to be obsidian, but because they can lower to this level, also this level needs to be obsidian. So I'm going to wrap that all the way around and then build the rest of the building. Okay, so at this point I have decided to lower this floor down another block, and I'm going to go ahead and use a hopper on a minecart to pick up the items through a solid block instead of having the cows stand on the actual hoppers themselves. Mostly just because when I originally tested this out in my test world, I only did one of these, just that big. And I just had the entire floor being hopper minecarts, or excuse me, hoppers. And that's fine for, you know, one of those. But when there's 6 of them, plus the empty space in between, because obviously the parts can fall into that area, it would make more sense to use a hopper minecart. So I am going to do that. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sections of track. So 9 carts, 9 hopper carts will be going at the same time. Alright, this is going to work. I just need to replicate this 8 more times. Okay, so what I've done is I've gotten all the mine carts. I've removed the block and put a hopper under the the powered rail at the end here into right now chests. Obviously, this is all going to probably get turned into hoppers as it heads off, you know, to the main base over there. But that'll be later. I want to test these, make sure they all work. So right now I just got a chest under that and the powered rails just there under or on top of the hoppers. So now we need to make an automatic like collector. So when the hopper stops on this rail, the minecart, excuse me, this hopper will drain everything, all the beef and leather. It'll get drained into the chest. So at this point, I've got to make like a return station. Nope, that's gotta face the other way. I've never. You good, Block? Okay, after a little bit of trial and error, this is what I've come up with. And basically, that drops down, goes back. So this comparator reads if any. This hopper pulls right out of that minecart. As soon as the minecart hits it, this comparator will see that and power up, which will depower the torch, which will then shut this off and shut this redstone off, and that will prevent this track from being lit. And the minecart will sit here until this hopper is completely empty, at which point the comparator will turn off. This torch will turn back on, power this block, power this redstone, and this will stay lit. So if the minecart is currently empty, the minecart will continue bouncing back and forth, and if it catches something, it'll slow down. So trying to drop it early doesn't seem to work, so I will have to just half slab that. The only thing to do at this point is to tear this part out and make it match this one, and then go through and build them all. And again, the chests for now, until I make sure they're all working, and then I'll tunnel through and put a hopper line to collect them all instead of chests. But, alright, I think it's time to just get this built the rest of the way and then close it. So I'm going to pause right here for a second and make sure my mic's on. The other thing is, so I'm going to probably change this out because I don't like the fact that you can see in there. I don't like that. I'm going to sort that a second. I've put hoppers all the way across to just one chest for the whole thing. And the other thing I did is I put an ability to pause or stop the mechanism. I'll route that around to the front, but just to show you kind of really quick. So I've got all the sides. I'll put the roof on after I get the cows in. Right now I just want them, I'm going to get them, start bringing the cows into here, and then I'll get the roof on. But basically, if I look in here, you'll see all the hoppers are hanging out at this end because they're all deactivated. And the reason why is because over here is a kill switch. That just sent all of them. I'll turn it back off. And they'll all come back to this end. And that'll cause them to pause at this end. That way they're not running continuously when there is no reason for them to. Basically, when I'm not harvesting cows, I don't need these things to be running. I don't need the lag. So it'll be something I can use to turn the system on and off. Or if I've noticed if the minecarts get out of sync with each other, they can crash into, this will be grass. When I'm done, I'll put grass here. But the minecarts, if they're out of sync, they can actually hit each other, which is something I didn't realize they would. I thought they would clip through each other, but they don't. They actually can crash into each other. So they have to stay in sync. So this will have to be activated. But I will put grass across here. But I just wanted to show you that before I do, so you understand what the point of this mechanism is to essentially cause all the minecarts to pause at this end. So that was it, and I've got the decorations in. And then as far as what it looks like on the inside, let me just swing around over here. And all right, so again, because these lower, the obsidian is needed. You have to put obsidian all the way around this part that moves, because then what's right where this block is currently is going to be either slime or honey blocks, and you have to have obsidian because obsidian won't interact. And then I just threw lights in every 7 blocks, every 8th block, excuse me, is a light. That'll keep some light in here. So once it's full of cows, mobs won't spawn. But anyway, there you go. So let me grab some grass to fill in this now that you understand what that pausing mechanism is for. And then I'm going to have to figure out how to get all the cows over here. And what I'm thinking is a train track right through here. I'll knock this block out and have a train, just bring them and then just dump them in there. Or come up over the top, because then they won't be able to get out. You know, just it'll dump them in there. So, say hi to the cameraman. And, yep, time to figure out how to get a bunch of cows from over there to over here. So let me figure out how I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back.
Sitting there doesn't unload those chunks, cows.
This is going to be huge. Okay, here comes the biggest train of all. Okay, all the cows have been transported into the farm, and I have gone ahead and closed up the ceiling right here, what I had open so they could drop in, and I've finished up everything. And I've already taken the wheat and fed the cows once. So what I'm going to do now is put all the wheat in one of these chests, and I'm going to start building the farm that goes around it and finish the rest of the building's roof and everything else, and stopping to feed the cows, or breed them, I should say, every 5 minutes with the wheat I have, while I let them grow and make babies, and I'll build the farm around it. And then when I'm done, there'll be enough cows in here for probably the first harvest. So, anyway, let's fire up the time lapse. Well, that's what we got so far. I think it looks pretty good. The crops aren't 100% ready to harvest, but that's not important at the moment. The farm is basically complete for testing purposes anyway. So let me show you what I've done. I've gone ahead and completed the building the rest of the way. It's mostly just decoration, put some lanterns in. As far as the crop fields, they're pretty much identical to what I have in the other farm over there. You pull that lever, this waterlogged trap doors will open up, and it'll flush all the crops into this trough here. And I have that pretty much wrapped all the way around the whole building. It only steps back 3, but I could go more. But I felt that that was the best aesthetic for the time being. There's a spot right there. But as you can see, it's 3 tiers back here as well. And the same situation is just going to flush it into that trough. So all these troughs at the moment, they do not go to the silos over there. I'm probably going to put some silos in front of this farm. It's very full of cows. It's lagging the absolute crap out of the game. If I try to eat something, it takes forever. So I'm going to turn the mine carts on, get them rolling. And what I've done is taken both of the farms and brought them to here. And as far as production, I haven't done anything. These oh crap, they're coming. Oh, look at that lag. Oh my god. Alright, yeah, I am lagged out. I have got to harvest the meat. But before I do that, let's breed them one last time so we have lots of baby cows to... Oh, I already have the wheat. Propagate the species. So, let me just throw that in there. Let's do 4 stacks of wheat. And that'll be how many we preserve. Excuse me. Alright. Yeah, this isn't going to help the lag situation. But I'm literally stuck. Alright, here we go. Are you kidding? That worked perfectly. Look at that. There's still a whole bunch of adult cows. I didn't kill them all. And tons of babies. Oh, perfect. Well then. I guess you're gonna stuck there. What? I want to pick this stuff up. There seems like a lot of stuff it's not picking up. Okay. Excuse me, cow. So all the baby cows that were left in here have grown up. And if I come to this end, which I don't know, why do they congregate at one end? I don't know. But as you can see, there are still quite literally hundreds of cows hundreds and hundreds of cows are still in the farm. Which is good, means that it won't take but a few cycles to completely rebreed the whole farm again to the point where the computer lags. And if I come down here, that's not bad for a single harvest. But the problem is that probably isn't even half the harvest. And the reason why is because this mechanism didn't work for crap. I don't know why, but most of these hoppers weren't unloading. They would stay full, they'd hit this, and they'd go back. And they just kept traveling back and forth. Not to mention that this minecart is just gone. I don't know what happened to it, but I may have to make another one. Not really sure what's going on with why this minecart disappeared. Yeah, bottom line is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hopper minecarts were immediately overwhelmed by this farm. Immediately. They had no chance of harvesting this much stuff. Okay, I have bred the cows back up to the point where the game is lagging violently, which tells me it is time to harvest. So the changes I have made are as such. I have massively increased the amount of minecart hoppers by, instead of every 3 blocks being picked up on in one hopper, I've taken it so all the hoppers are parked at this end, as you can see, and they go all the way down, turn around, and come back. So that's every 2. I can't make these any closer because the mechanics, they'll interfere with each other. They won't unload properly if they can, if this redstone's touching this, it'll all mess it up. So they have to stay. You can't, in other words, you can't stack these block to block. You have to leave them 1 block apart. So this is as dense as I could make it, unless this row had an unloader at the other end, but that's not enough room because of the farm land I put there. I might have to, if this doesn't work, I might have to consider changing the entire floor to hoppers, which I didn't want to do. The other thing is my OCD is being triggered like crazy because there's an odd number of blocks. So this one doesn't return, it just goes straight back and forth. And I didn't put a thing at the end to stop it, so it literally just goes back and forth forever while the rest of the hoppers are sitting here not moving, which is, well, it would be causing me OCD, but it's moving so slow because the game is lagging so hard that barely anything works at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the hilariously lagged hoppers. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's how bad it's lagging right now. And it's not a frame rate thing. I mean, 19 frames per second is not exactly world beating, but it's the game itself is just struggling to run because I'm way over my mob cap. Too many entities. I don't know. The game does not like this. I have to kill the cows. So, best thing to do. Yep. Let's pull this. Oh yeah. Look, watch the sun. Yeah, I broke time. Yeah, the day-night cycle, it doesn't work anymore. It just stops. The sun's bouncing back and forth at zenith. So I've really did something bad to this game. I've got way too many cows. Yeah, there's... I don't even want to know how many are in there. So let's call them. Oh god. Oh, that's just not a pleasant sound. I think I'm summoning Cthulhu. Cthulhu? I don't know. This is... just die already. Oh, there goes one. Okay. There we go. Oh, wow. Look how many are still in there. Alright. I hear the minecart's moving a little bit faster now, so I think we're not so lagged. Oh. No, we're lagged. Let's see. And they should... Oh, look at that. Alright, now it's working better. They all stopped and they're unloading. Okay. So far, I think... Yes. Yep, they're full. Yep, they're really full. Yep. Cool. Alright. I know. I'm just gonna go ahead and squish a few more adult cows. Look at them all run to their singular mama. Not very many mamas left. Sorry, baby cows. But your fate is sealed. Alright. I guess the only question is whether or not that stuff's gonna... With the game still lagged. It shouldn't be this lagged. I've killed enough of the cows, I think. Well, maybe. Oh, no. Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe not. That was a lot of baby cows. Alright. I may have overdone the breeding situation by a humongous amount. But okay. But I really wanted to test the system because it was so broken last time, and other than the lag, it does seem to be working. It's just not clearing very quickly because of how lagged it is. Well, all the little baby cows grew up, and it is now still slam-packed in here to the point where I'm still lagging. So at least I can show you how much was actually harvested. And as we can see, and that's it. So you can see those two stacks aren't quite full. So just over a chest and a hopper of 64 stacks. I'm not sure what the total number is, but I can tell you that that didn't actually kill enough cows because I'm still lagging. So the only thing to do at this point is do a quick breed to make a bunch of baby cows and then slaughter all these adults as well, because I'm still lagging too much. So obviously this new system, this layout is working really good. There's a lot of lag because I made way too many cows. That's kind of on me. But having it stepped back 2 blocks here, for whatever reason, when these were right here at the bottom, the minecarts would sometimes bounce off of them full of items, and the comparator would not pick them up, so I backed it up a little bit. And then obviously I made every other one, so that seems to have fixed the machine breaking due to lag, possibly. I'm not 100% sure, but even though we were lagged as lagged can be, this didn't break, and it harvested, and everything was picked up. I didn't lose any product, because the only other option beyond this is turning the floor into hoppers. I have enough iron to do that, but that's a lot of hoppers, which cause lags on their own, and also it just doesn't look natural with the cows, especially the baby cows, just wandering around on hoppers. It doesn't look very good. So this will work better. So let me clear out the chest and go ahead and make some babies and crush these guys real quick just to reduce the total number of cows, and let me finish up this area, and then I think we can say we're done with it, but it definitely works, and it works probably too good because it's obviously a little bit bigger than it needed to be since it's lagging the server. Okay, this is manageable. I'm not lagged anymore. And I really like this little bit of area that doesn't compress. Leaves quite a few. Well, I guess that's just a testament to how many cows were actually in here, how many adult cows were in here, that this many are left. And bear in mind that all of these adult cows were just standing in this area right here. And there's still this many. And then obviously all the baby cows, but this isn't lagging the system at all. And baby cows lag more than adult cows because they have to, every tick it has to check the baby cow's age to see if it needs to age up. Once they all become adult cows, there's be less lag. But I'm not lagging it. The system's not lagging anymore anyway. This isn't anywhere near enough. And once these are all adults, 1 or 2 breedings will give you the thousands of meat and hello, little cow. The thousands of beef and leather that you would need. And, of course, our wheat fields are ready to harvest, which will give us all the food to breed those cows. So I would say this farm is an incredible success. So as soon as the sorter is, or not the sorter, but as soon as the collection system is done, I'll give you a tally on how many cows we were able to harvest. Not counting that first one where the thing crashed. I really don't know, because I know a lot of stuff despawned because it was lagged so hard and the hoppers weren't picking up stuff. I really don't know what was going on there. It was a combination of a bad collection system. It wasn't robust enough. There was too many items, and combined with insane amounts of lag, it just wasn't working properly. However, this one, even though it lagged out, that's more my computer than anything else, and it didn't miss any part. I didn't see anything despawn. It collected everything. So in a second here, I will tell you, once that's done, I'll add everything into these chests, and I'll give you an idea, a total count of how much beef and leather we were actually able to get, even though it took two cycles to kill all the cows, which is fine. We'll get a total here in a second. And now we have our totals. I've got them all tallied up right here for official harvest count, and we have an entire chest of 64 leather and a row and a bit, and that total is 2,359. And for the raw beef, we have a whole chest, and almost another chest for a total of 4,805. So 2,400 and 4,800, which makes sense. You get twice as much beef as leather. You get 1 leather and 2 beef per cow, typically, and that seems in large numbers to play out almost exactly. So 2,400 leather and 4,800 beef, give or take. And obviously that depends on how much you breed the cows. I don't recommend doing it this is probably bigger than it needs to be, but the solution is to just not breed them as heavily, and if I start to notice lag, stop breeding them and just harvest them. And obviously then you still have plenty of cows. There's still probably a couple hundred cows in there, so that works really well. Super satisfied with how this works. I still have to build this front area. Not sure, to be honest, if I'm going to include it in this video. I ought to just bulldoze this, shape this up with a little bit of a, like a couple silo sorter system on that side, couple silos sorter system on this side, because I need 4 silos. I need a silo for the wheat, the seeds, the leather, and the beef. And then these would be temporary storage, and then it can send it all to the bigger system over there. But I want to keep the wheat here because I just want to be able to grab it as I run into the farm to the wheat and seeds over here, because I need them over here for this bit of the farm. So not 100% sure. I'm really debating what to do, how to integrate this with the rest of the farm. But I think for now, for this video, I'm going to call it good right here. This is more than enough for this single video. It's probably my longest video by a lot, and I think it looks really good. I love the layout. I haven't bothered to test this system because there's no point. I know it'll work. And so that's it. Really, really happy with the way this one turned out. And if you've watched this whole video, I'd like to thank you for doing so. I really appreciate it. It really helps the channel. I know I don't ever say anything about that, but I'm not a monetized YouTuber, so every little bit helps like you would not believe, because this is actually a huge time sink. This is me working on this video is probably 5 weeks on and off, maybe 6 weeks on and off. And I don't even know, probably several hundred hours, to be completely honest. And I'm not monetized, so I'm doing this for the heck of it. So if you've watched this video, I really appreciate it. It really helps the channel a lot, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.